So a thing about these MGAs, it's about movies that James and I have seen, right, whether individual or together. There is a segment in here called Best Franchise Film. We categorize franchises as movie franchise or TV franchises. So stuff like games, documentaries, biopics are not eligible.
So don't expect a Gran Turismo, a Super Mario Bros. It comes from a different medium than film or television.
Yeah, so we got our usual, standard Oscar ones, and we have a few fun segments in there as well. So I'll run them through each category, and then I'll get you guys' thoughts. So for Best Picture, we have Oppenheimer. This is in no particular order. This is just precursors. So at a later date, we'll be doing our actual nominations officially. So Best Picture, we have Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, The Iron Claw, Barbie, The Holdovers, Godzilla -1, May December, John Wick Chapter 4, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3. For Best Director, we have Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Celine Song for Past Lives, Alexander Payne for The Holdovers, Greta Gerwig for Barbie, Sean Durkin for The Iron Claw. Oh my God, how do you say this? Joaquim Dos Santos and Kemp Powers and Justin K. Thompson for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, James Gunn for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and Hayao Miyazaki for The Boy and the Heron. So, boys, what are your thoughts on those first two segments?
The first two.
Oh my gosh, you listed 20 names off. I don't think anyone listening is going to be able to remember what you just said. They're going to be like, wow, that was a lot of words.
Felt like a lot of words.
Yeah. Best Picture and Best Director, those are, they're quite different actually, apart from, Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon being in there. Thoughts on it? Best Picture. A lot of, surprisingly, a couple of comic book movies in there made it. That's the first thing I noticed. Second thing I noticed is Godzilla -1. Interesting for Best Picture. We'll get to that.
Where's the knife at?
But then again, we haven't seen everything yet. There's still Poor Things. There's still Zone of Interest.
Yeah, we haven't seen those.
Those are heavy hitters this year.
Can keep talking.
Yeah, you have to go silent to pass him something. Yeah. So that's for Best Picture. For Best Director, my thoughts. I haven't seen a whole lot of this. I reserve judgment here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pass this off to you, James.
Yeah. All right. Once you watch, I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on this. Well, I guess that's the thing about our MGAs is we like to not just go with what's winning the Oscars. We like to go with kind of what we thought was the best, and that is a nice mixture between, I guess, independent and blockbustery kind of stuff. The Iron Claw, disclaimer, Nayan hasn't seen that, so that was my advocation for that film. Go on to our review, and you'll see how much I loved it there. But yeah, I mean, I like the list. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's a nice little addition. Maybe not deserved in everyone's eyes, but
for Best Director.
Pardon?
For Best Director.
That was for Picture.
For Best Picture, okay.
But yeah, Best Director. I love that we're including the Spider-Verse directors in that. I like that because they're not going to probably get the recognition they deserve. Hayao Miyazaki, he's not going to get something at the Oscars in terms of like real recognition. I like that we're doing it in here as well. I agree with this stuff. Obviously, the Greta Gerwig, Nolan, Scorsese, all deserved in my opinion.
I think this is a fantastic list.
Yeah.
For Best Franchise Film, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Transformers Rise of the Beasts, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, John Wick Chapter 4, Creed 3, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, Godzilla -1, and Scream 6.
Holy shit, man. I remember like how me and you writing this out, and I'm like, nah, there has to be more good stuff this year. This is a shit year for franchise films. There hasn't been much. There are easily at least 3 movies in here that are clearly above the rest. So I don't fully agree with the list because our shortlist includes 10 nominees, but there hasn't been 10 great franchise films.
No,
this year.
there's only as you said, there's 3 there that are really worthy of being here, and all the rest not.
Yeah. So in terms of what actually wins the final thing, that's what I'm more interested in right now.
Mm-hmm. And we've not got a lot of franchise films left. Have we got any?
Aquaman, technically.
You do have Aquaman, yes.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it's a franchise film.
No. Is that all? Is there?
Oh, is that all?
Oh.
It's all I can think of that's coming out this year.
Because we're seeing Wonka, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last one. Maybe we got one more surprise. 4K Steelbook, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Front row seats.
That video quality is to die for.
Oh, yeah. We're going to IMAX to see that one.
All right. For Best Actor, we have Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, Leonardo DiCaprio for Killers of the Flower Moon, Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers, Zac Efron, The Iron Claw, Barry Keoghan, Saltburn, Adam Driver, Ferrari, Michael Fassbender, The Killer, Timothy Chalamet for Wonka, and Shameik Moore for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, no, it's good to see a voice performance in there. They deserve more kind of recognition in the film industry. Oh, I mean, you got your staples here. The people that are going to win the Oscars, of course. Barry Keoghan for Saltburn. He's actually starting to get a little bit of momentum in award season as well. And I mean, I don't know if I fully agree with it, but he definitely gave a energetic and crazy performance in the weird, wackiest way possible. So I'm all for it. Otherwise, Timothy Chalamet as Wonka, it's kind of a shoo-in to get to that 10 shortlist area.
Mm-hmm.
So, same with Michael Fassbender, but they're both great actors, and I think they do a pretty respectable job in their
Good
role.
question. Does Zac Efron compete at all with Cillian and Leonardo and Bradley? Yeah,
In this
category.
Ooh, I don't know if he competes, but he's definitely one of the best male lead performances I've seen this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say top 5, top 6.
Okay.
I would definitely advocate for a nomination in this category, but yeah, those other ones are kind of masters, veterans in their role, if you will.
Yeah, of course.
Best Actress, we have Carey Mulligan for Maestro, Natalie Portman for May December, Lily Gladstone for The Killers of the Flower Moon, Greta Lee for Past Lives, Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall, Margot Robbie for Barbie, Fantasia Barrino for The Color Purple, Haley Steinfeld for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Ariana DeBose for Wish, and Jennifer Lawrence for No Hard Feelings. Thoughts, Khyan?
What? What is this list? That's my question.
We have to get to 10 in the shortlist here. So if there's some unexpected ones in there, I guess that might be the reason for it. Ariana DeBose is the best part of Wish, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. The only redeemable factor of that movie. And I think voice performances deserve a little bit more recognition. I think that's what we've done here. Same with Haley Steinfeld as well. She's pretty much the lead in that movie and gave so much more characterization to Spider-Gwen. And Jennifer Lawrence is probably the most controversial of the lot there. But I think for what the movie is, what the movie's trying to do, I thought she gave a pretty good performance, and it's a good comedy, and us and the Globes know that. It's the Globes decided to nominate her as well.
Colour me shocked, but okay. Sorry. Am I adding thoughts?
No. If you want to,
that's it. That's all I got to say. Is I'm shocked by that list, but yeah, go on.
Best Supporting Actor, RDJ for Oppenheimer, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Charles Melton for May December, Bradley Cooper for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Jeremy Allen White for The Iron Claw, Jesse Plemons for Killers of the Flower Moon, Dominic Sessa for The Holdovers, Oscar Isaac for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Milo Marchto-Grainer for Anatomy of a Fall, and Coleman Domingo for The Color Purple.
Yeah. Best Actress then to Best Supporting Actor. Okay, sorry, this sequence has confused me. So we've gone from Best Actress to Best Supporting Actor. Okay, Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, I like that we have Bradley Cooper in here as Rocket.
It's cool, yeah.
I think that you've really got to give credit to these very particular voice acting roles, because this is potentially one of the most potent voice acting roles we've ever heard in the MCU.
Vin Diesel as well.
Oh, he is a presence on screen. Yeah, a big. It's a mixed bag here. A lot more sane than Best Actress, but yeah, it's just a very long list. It's a long list. I don't have much to add. I honestly don't. That's why I'm kind of scrambling here.
Bear in mind, this is a short list. It's not the actual nominations.
Yeah.
So
we're going to be condensing it down, but I would say that this category is probably the most stacked, or was the hardest to put together in terms of the acting ones. There's just so much here that we can add, and it's a lot of variety between them. You know, you got Oscar Isaac, Bradley Cooper, voice performances there. You got Dominic Sessa and Milo Grainer. They're quite new to the scene as well, but they provided great performances. And then you got staples, De Niro and Downey Jr. and stuff like that. So it's a mixed bag, but really, really good performances. I loved every single one of them, and I hope they can all get nominated, but we'll have to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Best Supporting Actress, Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers.
Yeah.
Shut up. Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple. Penelope Cruz for Ferrari. Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer. Julianne Moore, May December. Tajari P. Henson for The Color Purple. America Ferrer for Barbie. Vanessa Kirby for Napoleon. Viola Davis for Air. And Hayley Atwell for Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Are we listening? Is this a Golden Globe, like all the Critics' Choice nominations?
What do you
mean? No,
mean?
because these aren't nominations. These are shortlists.
I know there's a shortlist, but the shortlist is like, it resembles them so strongly.
Don't worry, once we get to the actual nominations, it'll be more legit.
It'll be more, okay.
But what sticks out to you?
I mean, America Ferrera for Barbie, because again, I've spoken strongly about this with you in that one monologue doesn't encompass a role.
Yes.
You know, the monologue was a good monologue, but I was a strong opinion that it can be that monologue was pure writing genius as opposed to the delivery. The delivery was good, but there are many actresses that could have done that delivery.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think America Ferrera is one of the strongest picks in there for sure. And I mean, we got like Hayley Atwell here from Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Yeah.
And I thought she's a great, fantastic addition to the Mission Impossible franchise. She did a really good job, but I think, those ones that Nan first listed are clearly your strongest bets in this category. Julianne Moore, Danielle Brooks are my favorite so far, for sure. Yeah.
For Best Cinematography, we have Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Maestro, Asteroid City, The Iron Claw, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, The Color Purple, Saltburn, and Ferrari.
A bang on list. And I said this, I think, in the last podcast. It hasn't really been a year where cinematography has been... there's been nothing that we've been like, oh my God, one of the best shot movies in years. Like, this is so good, I remember the year, when Blade Runner and Dunkirk and there were other ones as well. That was a really strong year for cinematography.
I think it was pre-2020, to be honest, where these very strong movies were
coming out.
Yeah. I mean, like 1917. Mm-hmm. I think on that same year there was like The Lighthouse and other movies like that.
Oh yeah,
they had fantastic cinematography.
Yeah,
and everything after that, it's almost like once COVID happened, it just like the cinematography dipped. I don't know.
Yeah, like all these movies, they're well shot. The lighting's great, composition, everything's pretty good. But there's none where I've been like, wow, that has to win this category. I would almost be happy with almost any of these really been the winner at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Best production design. We've got Barbie, Napoleon, Asteroid City, Killers of the Flower Moon, The Color Purple, Oppenheimer, Maestro, Saltburn, The Holdovers, and Wonka.
Why'd you say it like that?
I don't know. I want to take my shoes off and I just thought I had to be dramatic.
Wonka. I think Barbie takes it. I think Killers of the Flower Moon is also another very good candidate in this. And I didn't like the movie at all, but Napoleon, very, very good at what it does. So it's a strong category. It's a strong year. Even Saltburn and Oppenheimer, you can make a strong case for those as well. I think Barbie's going to take it. And yeah, it's a strong list, and I think we got a good shortlist here for that.
Agreed. I think this is a strong list. I think the fact that we haven't seen Poor Things is really showing throughout all these lists.
Yeah.
It's hurting. And I think these lists will change quite dramatically once every last thing has been seen. Maybe not super dramatically, but a lot of the things will be reshuffled and removed, and it's going to look a lot more like, you're going to see less of these weird ones in here.
Yeah, for sure.
Best visual effects: Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Creator, Oppenheimer, Godzilla -1, Wonka, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, Ferrari, Napoleon, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
Well, the fact that that movie's been mentioned, it's just funny that it's in this.
It is.
It's like franchise film. There's not a lot to pick from here, and to create a short list of 10 for best visual effects, very hard thing to do.
Very hard.
I've looked at the Oscars one. I'm like, has it been 5 movies this year that have had good or excellent visual effects?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, the fact that they're including animation in there.
Oh, but Oppenheimer's not, remember? But Ant-Man.
it just doesn't make any sense. You're
Ant-Man.
willing to put in Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse, but you're not willing to put in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
What's the logic?
And man, I don't understand it. But overall, I think we do have the best movies that have had visual effects in this.
Yeah, I think The Creator is the most deserving movie here.
Yeah, I like The Creator, and I like Guardians 3. Godzilla -1 is a nice standout as well. Same with Oppenheimer. I think it does deserve some credit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Best score / soundtrack: Oppenheimer, Barbie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Killers of the Flower Moon, Ferrari, The Boy and the Heron, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Maestro, and Saltburn.
Honestly, Oppenheimer, Across the Spider-Verse, The Boy and the Heron, the only ones that I can actually recall pretty easily. They had the best scores / soundtracks, whatever. They were very good. The other ones are good, but again, it's about a short list. Creating or getting to those 10 was the more harder than actually trying to cut down and take some away from the category. Hasn't really been a strong year for scores either, in my opinion.
No, if I think a score, the main one would be Oppenheimer, really,
Yeah.
or The Boy and the Heron. That one was excellent.
Yeah, and even Spider-Verse deserves some credit. But the Zone of Interest and Poor Things are getting a lot of coverage on that. So we got to see those, and hopefully they can get a good spot in these nominations here.
All right. Now we're going to head into our little Ingy-esque categories.
I love these ones. They're good.
It's going to call all kinds of havoc and chaos, and we'll deal with you guys on X or Instagram. But until then, listen to us, and we'll tell you that you're wrong. So from our first category for this is most memorable scene. We have Ferrari scene. You'll know it when you see it.
Yep.
Trinity from Oppenheimer. Destroyer of Worlds from Oppenheimer. That's the ending. I'm Just Ken. Miles vs. Spider-Verse. The Spider-Verse ending. No Sleep to Brooklyn Guardians fight. John Wick Dragon's Breath Shotgun Bird's Eye View sequence. Okay, I'm going to say this now. We will rename these.
Dragon's Breath Shotgun Bird's Eye View sequence.
Yeah.
Just keywords.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Rocket in the Afterlife and Cum Guzzler from Saltburn. You'll know it if you've seen it. Thoughts on these memorable scenes?
I mean, I think Cum Guzzler is a great name for it.
I think...
And just after Jacob Elordi's comments about it as well, just makes it even more perfect. But yeah, this one's going to be a hard one. You know, the Ferrari scene is clearly memorable in its way, but not really serviceable to the film. So I don't know how good it can be in terms of this category. But, you know, Destroyer of Worlds, the final scene in Oppenheimer, that's quite a...
That's an extreme contender here.
Yeah.
We're talking top 3 for sure, top 2 even.
Oh, yeah, for sure, because it just lingers in the memory. It's very haunting in that sense.
Yeah.
I'm Just Ken. I think that's more fun, but it is memorable. It has its place here for sure. Miles versus Spider-Verse, versus all the Spider-Men. That's a great scene, but I love the Across the Spider-Verse ending so much better. I think that one's probably the bigger contender for the film than this. Just because it's like, oh my god, don't fucking end, don't, and it ends. It's like, oh, fuck yeah. And the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 fight in that tunnel with No Sleep to Brooklyn playing in the background, great scene as well.
Definitely.
It's a decent year.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best though. We've had better.
Yeah,
we have.
Yep.
Our favorite one, worst movie.
Oh, here we go.
We have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Next Goal Wins, Wish, Thanksgiving, Strays, The Flash, Shazam: Fury of the Gods, Ghosted, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and Napoleon.
Yeah, I mean it's good. Well, it's not a good list. We don't want any movie to be worst film. I think people will look at this category and be like, "Oh, why are you doing worst?" I always see complaints about people doing worst list.
I think worst needs to be recognized.
Sometimes,
in
because
Hollywood.
I think people need to know when their work has not been satisfactory, and don't take it as a way of we're just hating and just shitting on it. We're not doing that. We are saying it is worst for sure, but it's not like we will condemn every future project this creator has done. We want them to acknowledge and know that they have been a part of the worst film of the year and make improvements on that.
Oh, how kind.
Yeah, no, I want everyone to make the best stuff as they possibly can.
Constructive criticism is what we're doing right now.
Yeah, everyone sees worst movie and be like, oh, they're hating on it. But no, I think these are fair things as well. And these are from creators that need to know when they have not done well. Because Wish is getting nominated for Best Animated Feature. It doesn't deserve to be. It's a worst movie of the year candidate. Next Goal Wins. Taika needs a reality check. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Marvel is not doing very well. They need to know this kind of stuff. Thanksgiving might be a little bit harsh. Strays might be a little bit harsh. The Flash. James Gunn needs a reality check. Tom Cruise needs a reality check. Shazam, that's pretty much justified. Ghosted. I ghosted that movie. The Super Mario Bros. Movie. Yeah, that one speaks for itself. And Napoleon. Ridley Scott also needs a reality check. So I think these are completely fair in my opinion.
Go. Now worst character. We have the goat from Wish, Cassie Lang, MODOK, Scuttle from The Little Mermaid. That's Awkwafina's character. Ben, that is the villain from the Marvels. Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa, Sasha, the kid from Barbie, Claude from Elemental, alternate Barry Allen.
Alien?
Yeah. And it's because I was reading that and Napoleon at the same time. The 10th one is Napoleon.
Napoleon himself.
Joaquin Phoenix is Napoleon.
In comparison to another Napoleon.
Yeah, the actual Napoleon.
Yeah, I mean, these speak for themselves. They are... When we say worst character, it's characters that actually they were a detriment to the final quality to the actual movie, in our opinion, of course. Yeah. Characters that just aren't written well and do a disservice to it. But for me, Oompa Loompa right now I'm still fresh off Wonka. I hated Hugh Grant as Oompa Loompa. And I did read that he hated being an Oompa Loompa as well.
Oh.
Yeah, they did him dirty. He was expecting something very different to what actually was.
Was he given the script?
I didn't look into it.
Oh, okay.
Don't want to.
Anyway, biggest disappointment. These are films that we were quite excited for and it just didn't quite reach our expectations. So the first one's Napoleon, Wonka, Asteroid City, Saltburn, Next Goal Wins, Maestro, Wish, Barbie, The Flash, and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Khyan, what's your thoughts?
Well, immediately, I strongly disagree with Barbie. I think it is a very good film. It's a very good, massive franchise film. It manages to push a lot of messages about modern feminism and not actually make too many people feel reactive to it. I think it's successful in that regard. I think that it's just very clever writing and it's very self-aware. I wasn't disappointed by it at all. I was very satisfied with what it produced. Overrated might be a different a different category entirely. I might feel differently about that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I wasn't personally disappointed at all by it. But then again, a lot of people would feel differently because Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach as writers. That's a powerful team right there, and you do expect truly great things from them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it does deserve to be there, simply because I don't think it is as great as my expectations made it out to be, and my expectations were they weren't inflated in any way. I looked at the cast, I looked at the crew, and I'm like, okay, yeah, there could be something really special here, and I don't think it lived up to that as well. Barbie is quite a divisive movie, though, as well. That movie, I think, was just trying to say too much things at once.
I completely agree.
That nothing ever hit for me, and I couldn't emotionally resonate with any single message because all of them were so thinly written because trying to have too many messages in there. So I didn't really get anything from it, and I think I expected more, which is why it's been put down on the shortlist here. But it's not as absurd as like these other movies. Napoleon might have to take the cake out. Wonka as well. Asteroids. There are far more deserving ones to be here. Saltburn. Next Go wins. The Flash. Remember what James Gunn, Tom Cruise? Yeah. They
were saying that was the best comic book movie they'd ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, Wish you think Disney's going to nail their 100th years celebration animated film. You think Maestro, Bradley Cooper looks great. It turns out it's
kind of Oscar bait.
Yeah. So honestly, there's a lot more deserving ones here. Barbie's loosely added in my opinion.
Yeah, it was just to fill up the 10, really. Biggest surprise movie. We have Godzilla -1, Elemental, Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Gran Turismo, Talk to Me, Joyride, No Hard Feelings, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, The Iron Claw, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem.
What James? What is your biggest surprise here?
My biggest surprise?
Yeah.
Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Because you had it on your least anticipated for the year.
Because I knew that the novel, the reception from the novel was far lower than the Hunger Games, like the main franchise. And then I didn't have any faith that they could do this again. I saw that the last two Hunger Games movies had dropped off massively in quality, and they weren't rated as highly. I came out of that movie really loving it. I thought it was done well, it was made well. It's just really competent. But yeah, Elemental's another big one. But I think that was because the reviews had rated it much lower than it was. I don't think that's actually. I saw the trailers and was like, "Oh, this looks like garbage." Gran Turismo is another one that got us quite well. I was not expecting good stuff from that. I think Joyride, No Hard Feelings. I'm pretty easygoing with comedies, so yeah, Dungeons and Dragons might be another one as well. But the Iron Claw, I didn't know the Iron Claw would be as great as I thought it was. So yeah, I think these are all surprises, but I think those ones are the most noteworthy here.
I would say there's probably only I haven't seen everything on this list. Probably there's about 4 of these I haven't seen. But I would say for me, the most surprising so far was Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
That was great.
Because it was just truly great. It was such a great fun time, and it had such great character chemistry.
Yeah,
and it feels very rewatchable. And to add on top of that, it was extremely underrated in the box office. Yeah. It didn't get the reception that it deserved. It got great critical reception, but didn't get that box office pull, which is surprising to me because I thought it had fantastic box office potential. Yeah, but apparently not.
I think it released during a really competitive time, and it just didn't make it through.
Yeah,
but I mean, I have heard rumors of the second one being made, but it just won't have the budget that the first one did, which seems fair given how the first one did. But yeah. The quality of the movie was good. I loved it. Yeah.
And our last category for the MGA's MovieGains Awards is Most Overrated Film. And this is where you guys will hit us up on Instagram or X. We've got Wish, Thanksgiving, Barbie, The Flash, Maestro, Fallen Leaves, Anatomy of a Fall, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Wonka, and Godzilla -1.
Oh.
I mean, you guys can't argue with this. You can't argue with it. The people listening, I'm sorry.
Bring out the stats, James. Bring out the stats.
Bring out the stats. I'm not going to bring out the stats. I'm not going to go that far. We'll wait for the official nominations to do that. But people look at most overrated film and be like, what the fuck? That movie was good. And I'm like, yeah, that's not what overrated means. Overrated means that the majority of people are giving it a rating that is not equivalent to what it actually is. And that is how me and Nayan are looking at these movies. The general consensus far out or has a much higher rating than how we view it. That's what most overrated film is. So to the people getting angry about it, you can have your opinions. You don't have to agree. This is our watching, and this is what we think. And I completely agree with it, obviously, because it's based on how I view the films as well. But I completely agree. A lot of these are massively overrated. Wish I would normally not say that it was, because granted, it's a rotten movie right now, but it's being in the most, or it's, constantly getting nominated for most, best animated
feature when it shouldn't even be remotely even acknowledged to be on that list.
Yeah. Thanksgiving, Nayan hates that movie. I thought it was all right. Barbie, sorry, I'm just going to out you like that. Barbie, it's a good movie. It broke the nomination record for Critics' Choice Awards. It's everywhere. It's a good movie. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know if it deserves that insanely high reception that it's getting, but I usually say that for a lot of films. The Flash, overrated. That's still a fresh movie on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm pretty sure, or at least
still in the 70s, I think.
Still in the 70s. That's insane. It's not a very good movie. Maestro, I thought that was fine. That was good. It's really well made, but the execution's not that great in my opinion. Fallen Leaves, an atrocity of a film. But yeah, it's got like 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
98%.
I don't understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, for some Finnish dry humor that is supposed to apparently be extremely compelling and smart and quirky, when it's really ultimately doesn't really say all that much.
Yeah, I mean, that movie, I had to fight so hard to stay awake. But I made it, and I wish I had just fallen asleep. Anatomy of a Fall, I think it's a great film. I actually think it's a really, really good movie, but I don't know if it's that good as the common consensus is right now. 96%, 8.6 average rating. Always in the Oscars. It's good, possibly not great. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I think is that still 98%, by the way?
I have no idea.
Or not, it must be, it's high 90s, and it's below Fallout, at least. I know Fallout's the better Mission Impossible
96%.
movie. Yeah, that's still very high.
That's very high.
It's a great movie. It's extremely well made, but it's not nearly as great as the other ones.
It's a fun movie, but I wouldn't call it great. I mean, personally, I would say it is reductive.
Mm-hmm.
It retroactively removes a lot of things that they were doing quite compellingly in the previous ones, and it just sort of reverses them.
Yeah.
And then goes back to the status quo of something that's actually relatively boring.
Yeah. No, I agree. And then Wonka's, I think that's in 84%, and that completely misses the point of the Wonka character.
Oh, yeah, don't get me started. Yeah, just completely botches Wonka.
Yeah. And Godzilla -1. I know Nayan's not happy about that being on the short list, but
there was a big fight between myself, James, and Khyan.
There was, but
for that final spot in there. But Godzilla, look, it's a great movie, and I think me and Nayan both loved it. We got the IMAX experience for it. It was really good. But it's sitting at 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's winning Best International Feature.
Yeah.
It's winning Best International Feature. And
rightfully deserved.
Nayan's fighting. He's fighting to the end for this.
It's kind of generic. I mean, aside from...
Generic works.
Aside from, the fact that it's from the Japanese perspective and the Japanese are saying it, the story beats are very... very Hollywood.
But I think it's done very well.
I think it is done well. I don't think the characters are compelling at all. I think I don't really feel anything for them. And I think Godzilla is that version of Godzilla is a cool concept, and maybe the fact that it's Japanese, trying a bit of self-reflection there. But it's indistinguishable for me from a very like generically plot-beated Hollywood production. I can't understand why it would be 98%, other than the fact that it's because it's foreign and they're producing something that's on par with a good Hollywood film.
That is true. I still can't find it out either. But I did really like the movie, and like even like just common audience reception is just as high. Like 8.5 out of 10 on IMDb. I mean, I was telling you guys before the potty, I think that would be in the top 100 of IMDb films ever.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's too much. Even you're smiling over there in the corner. You know that it's not a top 100 film of all time. But
there are films in that list that doesn't deserve to be there, though.
There are plenty of films that you are right. And look, generally the IMDb lists, they do level out eventually. These films will tend to drop down. But to even be there at the beginning, it's like, come on. Like, this isn't even close to 98%. Let's be real. This is more like a 84% movie, I think.
I would go around like, 88, 89. I think it's just really well done.
Yeah, I think it's a good production from Japan, and I'm impressed by it. But I stand by my comments that I don't think it has anything on Shin Godzilla, which is a lot more of an interesting take on Godzilla, and it's very critical of Japanese response to catastrophe.
Yeah, well, from what you're talking about the movie, I feel like I have to see it now. But yeah, no, those are our MGA's shortlist. Once we have seen The Zone of Interest, American Fiction, and Poor Things, I think we will be finalizing our nomination ballots and announcing those. Yeah.
And then the Oscars will be watching, and they'll be copy and pasting that onto their own website.
We will be having the MGA's premiere exclusively at the Oscars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You walk on the red carpet and you get the Oscar treat before the treat.
Before the treat.
All right.